Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. Ba bam ba bam ba bam ba bam down down ba bam ba bam ba bam ba bam bam. We are here on a Sunday evening yet again for the last round, the finale, the great goodbye to the HPEC Hybrid Performance Endurance Championship. Not performance, sorry. Prototype. After 10 weeks you think I'd get it right, wouldn't you? So yes, it's the Hybrid Prototype Endurance Championship, round 10 here at Le Mans. I moved my controller and it's changed the person. There you go. So all the usual suspects have turned up in attendance. Matt Psycho, I think he's already champione of the season, but there is still drop scores, you know, all sorts of little boxes to tick before we can start claiming championships. In the chat, Nika Wivery with us, hello, it's Le Mans time, and Flashman also saying hi all. Now, while we're watching that cycle in the pits, I do not know. There we go. We can see Jam shuffling around the track. Jim and Wise, is he fastest so far? I'm not getting no one's known. Well, they've been practicing for a while, 30 minutes, but I can't see a fastest lap. But we know when we ran a Le Mans earlier this season, a 2.5 hour one, it's on YouTube somewhere if you can sit through it. It's quite entertaining actually. Before I commentated for it, I thought it could be a disaster with all the cars really spaced out, not much happening, but no, 2.5 hours of racing. So if you have the time, I would watch it. Shall we have a look at the me has put the full scores on and the drop scores. I'll tell you the full scores for the time being. So at the top of the table we have a Matt Psycho in first with 190 points. In second place, Casper on 145 points. In third we have Jam Huntington on 105 points. Then in fourth we have Stevie Styler with 93 points. Jam was on 105 points. Stevie Styler's on 93 points. Below Stevie Styler we have Skyjacker in fifth on 69 points. Below Skyjacker in 8th we have Noxy on 61 points. In 7th we have Psycho Sheep, who is on 53 points. Then we have 8th Liam Anfields on 52 points, so close down here. Jim and Wise in 9th on also 52 points. Below them we have Jokus in 10th on 30 points. Then we have Koi Carp in 11th on 28 points. Under that we have JTX in 12th with 22 points. And then we have Jax Racing in 13th with 5 points. So that's the table. What's going on? There's a lot of chat. Nothing for me, so nothing for me to take a gander at. Sorry, I know I've just read you a table out, but now I'm going to read you the drop scores table. So a lot to take in. In the chat we have Pat also saying hi, just about recovered from yesterday. I think I've watched the replay at least twice today. Excellent. Nick Wivery says, I've started work on my new Emmett Max 5 livery already. That's not until after Christmas, so you've got you've got a couple of months for that one. Right then, the drop scores, here we go then. See if I can mess this one up. Matt Psycho is sitting at the top of the table with 154 points. In second place we have Casper on 145 points. Then in third we have Stevie Styler, moving ahead of Jam on 93 points, where Jam in fourth is on 87 points. Below Jam is Skyjacker, still in fifth with 69 points. Below Skyjacker is Noxy in 6th with 59 points, only 10 points behind. Then 7th, Psycho Sheep with 53 points. Below him is Liam Anfield in 8th with 52 points. On 51 points is Jokers in 9th. No, not Jokers, Jim on Wise, sorry, in 9th. Jokers is 10th with 29 points. Koi Carp 11th, 28 points. And JTX 12th with 22 points. And Jack's Racing 13th on 5 points. But he's only taken part in 2 rounds. All of those guys haven't done many rounds at the bottom there. So that's the drop scores. Yeah, I think we can say Matt Psycho's won it. So today we can just enjoy a nice fun race around Le Mans. Shall we get to the team brief? There's 1 minute to qualifying, so I'll quickly knock this out. HPEC round 10. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Today marks the sunset on season 2 of HPEC, and is only right that it is held at the track these cars were made for, Le Mans. I would like to take this opportunity to thank VRC Jam for hosting each week, and VRC Thingamajig for stewarding and commentating the championship, and each one of you guys for rocking up and giving it your all every week. Plus Skyjacker needs to be thanked. It was his brainchild, and he has done all the tables for me. And he does all the team briefs, so he's done half of the stewarding work. Ooh, he's saying ready already. So we're at Le Saf, and all the other, it's 8.467 miles long, and there's 38 corners. Don't you worry, I've got a bit of paper in front of me with all the corners names on there that I can forget to tell you during the race. Well, we didn't get much practice there, did we? I was a bit late. Let me get on with saying yay to the gang. Yay, the final. We made it all the way, 10 weeks, 1 hour races. And then they've been pretty entertaining, I've got to say. I can't remember a week there it was too boring, even when we were just down to like 3 cars racing. When there was only 5 cars partaking, and we were down to just 3 in the shout for it, it was still good fun. So there we go. Jam is your fastest with a 3:24.480. We'll have to remember that for a good to put them next to in qualifying. I'll have a little sip of my drink. I'll choke on my drink. Excuse me. Anyone know how? Yes, thank you. Just a little. Went down the wrong hole. Flash Endurance says hi all in the chat. Flashman says I started a livery for the next season, but it's on Friday, so I'll not be able to enter due to work. There'll be something sadly, don't worry. Let me take them big numbers off while they're doing their outlap. Just that, get that, there you go. Mika says I have about 5 liveries in progress at the moment. Work on them when an idea comes. That's it, and you've had 5 ideas come at once, it sounds. So they're tootling around now on their outlap. We have to watch those corners. Tetre Rouge, that's where the penalties, the worst of the penalties come from. See if there's a car just going through. That's Tetre Rouge. That you can see Psycho Pace just going through now. Formerly Psycho Sheep. Psycho Pace. Because I think he drives for a team pace or something like that, so it is to coincide with the team he's racing for. He says he still is Psycho Sheep, but for the time being his name is Psycho Pace. So it'll be Psycho Sheep again, don't you worry. It will come back. So there's Skyjacker. Now they have to pay their penalty on the start straight line, but pretty much with a track this long with so many tight corners, I say so many, there's what, 2? With so many braking areas, we'll say, the penalty is usually gone by the time they get to the start straight again. And we're still sitting with Skyjacker. I might go on board for this. We're only halfway around the track. What was he just going through? Mulsanne. Heading towards Mulsanne King. So let's have a look. Here you go. Sweet. I'm pressing F12 there. Skyjacker sat in his Porsche. Heading up towards Indianapolis. And then Arnage, is it? Going towards... This is Arnage. That was probably Indianapolis. I get it all wrong all the time. Look at that, a yawn. I'm not even tired. What's that about? It's a long lap. It's, you know, we've got to bear with it. With the outlaps. Mika Wivery says, I'm hoping for some more interesting pit strategies tonight. Well, I've got a few of these raced in our 2.5 hour endurance race earlier in the year, so they would have had some telemetry and some stuff from that they could work on. Still sat on Skyjacker's car, just finishing off his outlap. Looking at the map, looks like they've spread themselves out quite nicely. We'll have a look through the field as they start. Just coming through the Ford chicanes now. Oh no, that's the Ford chicane. There you go, and back onto the start straight. Aiming the car towards the hill. Dunlop curve. Getting right over onto that. Apex, then on the brakes. This is, if you don't get that corner right, you aren't going through it, basically. It's a tricky track, this one, a real tricky track. Just want to go through Tetra Rouge because the speed they carry through there is shocking. Here we go, brace yourselves. Here he goes. Oh, it just takes guts, man. Just so many guts to sling it through there. Wow! And then we've just got a hefty long straight with 2 short chicanes in it, 2 small chicanes. So now we're waiting for them to come round to see what lap times they are capable of. We've seen Skyjacker heading towards the first arc chicane. There he goes. It's looking so far so good for Skyjacker. Very tidy lap I am seeing. Behind him, Jim One Wise in the Audi. Like I said, in our endurance, the Audi did win. I think the Audi likes these long straights. It's good for it. It can stretch its legs. We've got 8 people in tonight. I haven't really gone through to see who's here. I can't see Liam Manfield, and I think Liam Manfield was looking forward to this. He must have had to work. So Jam in third on track. Jocus carrying a penalty on this fast lap. That's hopefully it'll bleed down before he gets round to finishing his struggling to stay in between the white lines there for Jocus. Stevie Styler, he signed up for the Red Bull Juniors, and, so fun to see him with us guys again, carrying on for the next 5 weeks. I think Psycho, I think a few of these have signed up. Matt Psycho Pace. So you'll see some familiar names if you carry on tuning in on a Sunday evening to see the little Red Bull Juniors. I'm just copying the tracks that are in the Gran Turismo single player part. So no great thoughts gone into it. Just see how they look out there. See if it's a viable championship for the future, especially as Saturdays has now become wildly available with the Max 5s moving over to Friday. I think it's because there's a few in the gang that can't really race at weekends. You may notice we don't see much of Homesick in weekends, or well, Skyjacker takes part in this, but he's not really meant to be racing at weekends, I don't think. And after Christmas, I think we might see him scaling back some of the racing. So Noxie. Yes. No Liam Anfield. I'm trying to think if there's any other names there that are jumping out at me that are not here. So Skyjacker just picked up a penalty as he's coming round to the line. I don't know if you have to pay it. Well, he's got to pay it. No, he's taken it. 323.6 on the board. Looking for Jim One Wise coming through with a 324.6. Second down on Skyjacker. Jam just crossing the line with a 327.8. So they've all made their small mistakes during that lap. Jokers coming round to manage a 329. Stevie Styler next to come across the line to see what he does. It's only 2/10 off Jokers, but no one going faster. They're all going slower than each other. Psycho Pace managing to get up into third spot with a 3:25.700. But then there we see Matt Psycho putting it in second spot there with 3:24.4. And Noxie crossing the line with a 3:27, putting him in fifth spot, nearly 2 seconds off of Psycho Pace. Mika Wivery in the chat says, I'm hoping for some... Oh yeah, she said that already. I thought I saw something come up in the top corner saying comments, so I just looked down at the comments. So, Skyjacker, even though we saw he got that penalty and carried it across the line, which would have added a second to his time, I would have thought. I thought they rounded it up. You see that tyre wear already, though, after just 2 laps. Just after 2 laps, I think we're going to see a lot of. We might see medium tyres coming into play here. Nice warm latte on a winter's evening. Still no Christmas decorations up in my house. I am absolutely devastated. I thought the little elves would have shown up by now to throw up the decorations, but they haven't. It was someone else joining watching. Oh well, welcome whoever you are. Thank you for watching on a Sunday evening. We're just on qualifying at the moment. It's nice and gappy, really. We can breathe in between laps because it's a long lap, so we can reflect on a great season the HPEC has already been this season. How we are looking forward to it in the new year, hopefully. I think. Well, I put a suggestion in that they probably, you know, you should make them use a different compound in the 1 hour race to sort of jumble up the strategies a little bit. And Skyjacker told me not to worry my pretty little head about it. He's got it all under control. He has ideas. So we'll be looking forward to next season to see what little jumbles of rules may have happened for this series that can make it a little bit more interesting. I've also asked for penalties to be taken off because at this point in this game, for some reason, penalties, you just get penalised for making mistakes and losing time rather than cutting corners. I don't think any of our racers cut corners. They're just not that type of guys. So Matt Psycho, he had a green on his number. Is he anywhere near a sector? He is coming up to a sector after, was it, where are we? Porsche curves, I want to say. There we go. He's following Psycho Pace there. Psycho Pace ghosted. I don't know if he's on an out lap. You can see Skyjacker's popped in. Said just after, oh, he's only a 10th up. He needs to find 9/10 to get. Jam's gone faster. Jam has gone faster, but I can't see him. There he is. He's 4th behind Jim 1 Wise. He hasn't gone as fast as the Audi yet of Jim 1 Wise. Massive stuff here. Matt Psycho is going in the pits. He wasn't even going for a run. So Skyjacker is on an out lap now. Matt Psycho popping in. We saw Jim 1 Wise coming in and getting some tyres. He's taking a while. Maybe he was letting someone past. Can't see anyone on the map though. Ooh, tyres haven't warmed up yet. There we see Jam in 4th. He's going to be popping into the pits. It's not worth watching him going round, but he did a 3:25.000 on his last lap, and he's only 3/10 off of the Audi of Jim 1 Wise ahead of him. That wasn't a yawn. I'm not tired. I don't know. Just getting more oxygen into my lungs. Because there's no breaks in endurance, I like in these Sunday evenings, whereas with Max 5 there's 1 break, and with MTCC there's 3 breaks, so I can nip out, take a second to collect myself. I can't do that with this, 'cause it's 1 hour race and 30 minutes of qualifying going into it, so it's an hour and a half, which I can go that long without collecting myself. But I don't know, the pressure of doing commentating and doing all this makes me want to run outside every 5 minutes just to chill. Pat says I think it will be pit stops every 5-7 laps depending on fuel saving, and 18 laps with 3:25 times. There we go. My man Pat, with his calculator, has given us an update for what to expect in this race. It does seem their tyre wear, it's like, you know, 3-4 laps. We've got an outlap going on here, we've got an outlap going on there, we've got an outlap going on there, we've got Jam on an in-lap, I believe. We've got Psycho on an outlap, we've got Nocti on an outlap, Jokers on an outlap. Maybe I should take this time to say, please, there's only 4 spaces left for the Red Bull Juniors, and it's for big, you know, people just getting into GT Sport, people who don't feel very confident with GT Sport. There's no tyre wear, the tyres are set to ×1, and the fuel is ×1. They're only going to be short sprint races, 15-minute races. The Red Bull's quite handleable. It's good for controllers and for wheels. So, you know, four spaces left. I believe it's 4, I wrote earlier. You know, if you're unsure but you enjoy watching these and you haven't taken part in anything, this is the one for you. This is where to dip your toe in to see how it feels. No pressure, just come and have fun. So there's 4 spaces left in the Red Bull Juniors. The Porsche is all signed up. That'll be replacing the GTMC on Tuesdays, so that'll be one of the replay ones that I do to catch up. There we see Skyjacker now starting his fast lap. I might go on board, you know. Proper on board though. It had to be the very last option. So we're on board with our pole sit. It's gone out wide there. Will he get a penalty? Unsure. Mika Woodbury says she still appears in the Red Bull list, but I had to pull out, or have I not scrubbed you off? Sorry. All about adding, I only just added someone today that put, I think Stevie Styler put his name down nearly a week ago, and I only added him today. I'm so slow with it. It's because I'm not used to doing all the admin stuff. I think I get like special admin things on Discord just because I do the commentating, and they think I need to know all the information. So I'm allowed to have a sneaky look around everything. But I've never actually done the admin. HPEC2's the first sort of season, and I've not even run it because Skyjack has done all the hard work. I just sat there looking through the videos to make sure everyone's done the penalties when they should do the penalties. I was really meant to be doing the driver briefs as well, and the table. Well, there's no way they're going to get me to do the table. You need a proper computer for that. My Word on my phone isn't all that good. It's limited what you can do. Mika says she is an admin queen. I did think to myself, I thought, oh, Mika can see all the Red Bull chat and she's not even taking part. That's the way to do it. Just sign up for everything, then say you can't take part. You don't get taken off of that group, and you can still see all the chat and everything. So I thought, should I be cruel and say to Skyjacker, take Mika off the Red Bull Junior chat because she's not taking part anymore? No, I'm joking. So there you see Matt Psycho. He has been dominant. He was always there with Casper when Casper was here for the first few races, and then when Casper left, he got a couple of wins. Then Liam turned up and won. Looked like he was messing things up for Matt Psycho. But I believe Matt Psycho, this one, he wants to go out on a bang. Racer Brown, hi all, good luck to all tonight on the chat. So Matt Psycho, I know, wants to go out on a bang. I think Skyjacker, oh dear, Skyjacker, he'd like to go out on a high. I don't feel like this season went well for him. I think he hoped for a bit more out of this, although I don't think he's driven these cars that much, so it's not like suddenly he says, oh, well, the Group 1 cars are my thing. He never made that, but I just think he thought he'd take to it better than how it's gone. Matt Psycho, no complaints about his season, I imagine. Done all he could. Looks like he's going to win the championship. Oh, I think he has won the championship. I think, didn't I read that drop scores? It's only Casper that's near, and he's not here. So he'll be your VRC HPEC Season 2 champion. His car will go up in the Hall of Fame forever. And he gets the option to drive the number 1 number. He has the number 1 next season if he wishes to use it. Jim Wise. He's is this the first? Yeah, this might be the first championship he's joined with. I don't think he's embarrassed himself at all this season. I think he's done extremely well. That Audi is quite a handful, and I think he's done absolutely fine. I can't wait to see him in more championships. I don't know if he's signed up for the Red Bulls. I should check the list, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll go on to. I'm being obsessive about Red Bulls. Well, the NTCC's only got 2 championships left, 2 events left, I think, 2 rounds left. Oh, Psycho Pace is setting a time of second. So what happened to Matt Psycho? He's still coming round. Here he comes. Joker set a time. He's put himself in 6th. Jam, that was an old time Jam set. So Psycho Pace, the first to set a time out of the guys after the pit stops. We're only 11.5 minutes left of qualifying. And there we go. Matt Psycho putting it on pole. Super duper. With a 3. Why is it blue? 323.278. That's fantastic. Straight into the pits. Skyjacker. He looks like he's had a long one. He's been in the pits again. He's come back out, making his way round. Psycho Pace, we see, just put a 23.7. So he's only half a second off of pole. So tight up the front here. And Jim Weiss, he's 1.3 seconds off a pole. He's done a 24.624. That fuel's getting lower though. He's just pitted. He's done a flying lap of a 25.3. He's 3/10 off of his time. Plenty of track left to pull that back. We'll have a look. Jam has a green next to him, so let's see what he does over the line. I thought there was a line coming up. Did I miss it? Because I looked down at my phone to open it, to get into Discord to tell you who you'll be seeing from your Sundays continuing on. What names will should I just leave it as a surprise? There we go, Red Bull. I'm waiting for him to cross a. I thought we crossed a sector. There's some chatting, HPEC. Oh no, just Psycho Sheep saying let's go. No, not a single lap practice. Quali will be practice. Oh, so Psycho Pace doesn't look like he got to have much practice beforehand. Matt Psycho's just put it in the pit. It's one lapped it. 1 lapped it. Thank you very much. That's me. Good night, Vienna. Wow, impressive. So let's have a look. Let's see. We'll see. Yeah, Psycho Sheep. He'll be back, continuing on Sundays. Jam Huntington, Matt Psycho, Noxie, Jim Wise, Stevie Styler, Jax Racing's down. We'll also see some new facias. Flashman, Carbon Dwarf. Oh, Skyjacker's back as well. Did I miss that one? And Roman, J Roman, XGR J Roman. We haven't seen anything from these guys. So it'll be interesting, but like I said, yeah, that only started off saying there's like 4 spaces left, and everyone's welcome. Matt Psycho then has done his day's work, put it in the pits. He's 3/10 faster than Skyjacker, rather brave. We've got 8 minutes left. Maybe he's got to have his dinner. Flashman is the Red Bull season next week, as the race calendar says the 22nd of November. No, it should be next week, I thought. Are they giving us a week's break? I'll look into that and message everyone on the thing. I thought it was the 17th, which was next week, but I'll double check for you, Flashman. Oh, he might have moved that. 3/10 up, Jam is, was it? Oh, there you go, sorry. Yes, he's just gained a bit of time after his last lap. Let's have a look at him coming over this next sector. He did a 3:23, but I imagine... Oh, no, his tyres still look good. He's only a 10th. Stevie Style. Oh yeah, Jam 23.4. So he's got closer. He's not Skyjacker down. Stevie Style has gone faster, moving up to 5th spot. 3/10 behind Psycho Pace. Psycho Pace went faster a lap, so go. Skyjacker is pushing now, and he's pushing. There's tents in it. So Jam doing a great job. Noxie going faster. Where is he? Down in 7th. He's just done a 26.374. He's 1.7 seconds behind Jim on Wise and a second ahead of Jokers. Jokers just going in, getting some new rubber. Jim on Wise. He's on an outlap. Stevie Styler, he's on a flyer. He's just done a flyer. So let's see. Oh, his tyres look quite old though. Maybe he'll going in at the end of this. They'll be having to go in for their last run soon. Skyjacker got himself a penalty there. So Jam is your man. Matt Psycho one lapped it. I don't know. Flashman says cheers. I don't know. Oh yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll look into it. I don't know. I mean, I say I don't know. I wrote it, but I don't do the calendar. You see, the calendar's done by Talleyrand, so I'll have to ask him if he's giving it a week's gap. So he might do. Sometimes we do take week gaps, but I thought you guys want the week gap before Christmas rather than, because it's like 6 Sundays before Christmas, so we chose a 5-week championship. Pat says sign up for RB Junior Series, says 15th, the season info says the 22nd. Hey, so the season info, I wrote all of it. What have I done then? It is there, 22nd, 11th. Why has that happened then? Ooh, and the sign up says 17th, is it? Oh no, I'll have to ask in chat. I'll say, it's my mistake. What would you rather, next week or have another week and do it all the way up to Christmas? Sorry, guys. Thanks for pointing it out, Flashman. I wouldn't have ever known. I would have been turning up to broadcast and thought no one showed up for me new championship and been all sad. But yeah, I'll rectify that. Ask the gang of admins what they think is best and then make an announcement in chat. Or ask chat if everyone wants to do it this week, next Sunday or Sunday after. Pat says sign up for, yeah, he said that one. Sue, who else has gone in the pit? Psycho, he's happy for the day. Jam's done for the day, is he? Oh no, he's just coming in for new rubber. Will he have time to go round and get another run in 5 minutes? Well, yeah, he'll get an outlap done, get across the line. Here we see Skyjacker could be heading up for his last run or two. He's used that rubber up a little bit. He's had 2 sort of, oh no, he's had an outlap, and that was his lap, I think. In the chat, Psycho Pace, let's go, he's up for it. And I've got all 5 races in November. This is why they shouldn't let me do things. I thought I copied and pasted it. Yeah, I'll have a good look at it. I must have done it when I was half asleep one night. Oh dear. This is why they shouldn't let me do things. And in all fairness, Skyjacker did offer, and I was like, no, you do enough, I'll do it, it'll be fine. And then I'll make a right mess of it all. Yeah, there is 5 weeks, and all races are in November. We'll just have to do a Wednesday one or something. I'll take a day off work. That's annoyed me now. I can't do this tonight. I'm turning the broadcast off. I'm going off to rewrite the Red Bull thing. How annoying. There we go, Skyjacker is up on one of his last runs. Miki, you might have to get me out of it and do it all for me, like a nursemaid, because I'm useless at things. So we saw Skyjacker had a purple over one of the sectors. He's still purple. 9 thousandths that was. What is Jam up to right now? Oh, did Skyjacker go? Why did Pace? I thought. Oh, I don't know. But there, I thought Psycho Pace was in 3rd. And Skyjacker. Oh, he's still purple. What's Jam up to? No, Jam's on an outlap, isn't he? Who else is out there? Stevie Styler on a run. He's on an outlap. Jim on Wise. He's on a run. So between Skyjacker, Jim on Wise, Jokus is out there. He's got a penalty though. So back to Skyjacker. It's just coming through Indianapolis, Arnage, sorry, and then heading towards the Porsche curves. After that, it's a bugger of a corner that is. It really is horrible. He's heading towards Jim on Wise, so he might use Jim on Wise for a tow. Luckily Jim on Wise is on a run also. And let's see if he can get close enough. No, not quite, I don't think. So Skyjacker, where's the next line? It's quite a way away. There's a few of them sat in the pits, isn't there? Noxie, Psycho Pace, Matt Psycho. Sometimes I kind of will someone to get pole when the pole sitter's gone in the pits. It's a little bit sort of big-headed, isn't it? It's a little bit there. That's my best. What can you do? Red Bulls used to do that in F1. I remember when Vettel and Webber were there, they'd just come out and do one run. So there you go. So we're watching Skyjacker. There you go. You sitting and watching, Matt. Skyjacker taking pole, 322.884. Is Matt's car moving? No. Jam then, it's just started his flying lap. What can he do? And we've got Stevie Styler was still on his out lap. Oh, Jim One Wise was the next other one. He got a line across the line. He didn't go faster. Did a 25.88, and it looks like he's lifting for Jam at the moment. Is he? Ghosting. There's Jam. He's 800ths up on his own time, which is 2/10 slower than Matt Psycho's. Jim on Wise into the pits then. So it's just Stevie Styler we've got out there, just starting his lap. We've got Jam trying to get pole, and we've got Skyjacker with pole at the moment. He made it across the line. No, he didn't. Time ran out. Oh no, I can't see how the time ran out. There's 20 seconds left of it. So Jam, he's 300ths up. Joker's going faster. Joker's going faster above, up to 7th. He got ahead of Noxie on his last run. Good show, old chap. Good show. So Skyjacker, it looks like he's not going for a run this one. Jam, he was a couple of tenths up. Stevie Styler, he's got a green. He's faster. I don't know how much by. He'll come back before he gets to the line. Keeping an eye on the Toyota here. He's 700ths up. It's a long lap. He might find enough to get past Matt Psycho. Still showing green on Stevie Styler. We're waiting for that line to see how much up he is. There he goes. He's 3/10 up. Ooh, that is close to Psycho pace. That is extremely close. So back to Jam, and then he's following Skyjacker, who he's trying to beat for pole. But he's got a long way to go. He's nearly 6/10 down on Skyjacker when we last saw him over the sector time. What can he do? Coming towards Indianapolis. Then Arnage, he's up. He's up by 4/10, guys. He's up. Hold the popcorn, because we might have a change of order again. Matt Psycho might see himself shuffled down to 3rd. Quick look at Stevie Styler. Has he already crossed that line? Stevie Styler's up as well. It's all change here right at the end. If everyone can keep their cool and keep their cars going the way they should be going at a speed reasonably fast. 3/10 up. Oh my lord, oh my words. Everyone just sat in the pits. Oh, they don't know what's going on. They don't know where they're going to end up. Going into the race, there's nothing they can do about it now. Jam coming around to the next sector, into the chicanes. He goes. Next sector, it'll be the finish line. He crosses next, and here he comes with a 3:22.9. Not pole though. Misses out by 200. Stevie Styler. What can Stevie Styler do? Skyjacker must have put an immense sector in that last sector. He really must have gunned it through the chicanes. But we're watching Stevie Styler now. Stevie Styler, he's 3/10 up nearly. 2.5 tenths up, but so was Jam. It's this last sector that Skyjacker absolutely owned it. And they're losing the time through the chicane. So can Stevie Styler make a difference? Into the chicane. It looks fast. It looks extremely fast to me. Wow. And here he comes to cross the line. He's lost the back end of 3:23. Oh, he's gone faster up to 4th, but no, he could not take pole. Wow. Skyjacker then, pole sitter. Fantastic stuff. Jam 2nd, Matt Psycho 3rd, Stevie Styler up to 4th, beating Psycho Pace, Jim One Wise in 6th, Joker's 7th, and Noxie in 8th. What a fantastic qualifying session. Wow, great qualifying, Mika says. Mika said, oh yeah, she said she's a freelance admin. And like I said, I might have to take you up on that. Well, there you go. First pole of the season for Skyjacker. He threatened it 2 or 3 times this season. And now it's there. What a great lap. Masako thought he had it all done, all covered. But Jam also right at the dead there. 200ths off of pole. Oh, 200ths, man. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. Stevie Styler, 200ths also just off of Matt Psycho's time. Now in it. My silly joystick thing on my controller's weird. It moves the arrow around. So there we can see a rolling start here at Le Mans for 60 minutes of pure racing. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let me get them away. One last hurrah for these GR1 cars around the place they were built for, Le Mans. You see Skyjacker leading the way through the chicanes. The countdown starts and they are off, ladies and gentlemen. We have 60 minutes of absolute beautiful racing to do here, and there you can see all of them in a row. Great stuff. They look absolutely fantastic here. Keep pressing these buttons now. Run out the buttons. So back to the leader. Looks like Jam trying to close that gap. Early doors, 6/10. He's not playing the long game. He wants to get on with it early on. That Psycho willing to sit back a little bit. 1.5 seconds. He's probably thinking tyres, thinking fuel, thinking of the long game. Stevie Styler wanting to get on with it. He's at 1.6 seconds behind. I think Psycho Pace, he's a great strategistics person, and he'll be thinking of the longer game. Meanwhile, there's Skyjacker nearly a second ahead of Jam at the moment, while we do some swirly stuff with the camera. Whoosh! We'll give it a whoosh, whoosh, to be all professional. Wow. Da-dun-da-dun. There's Jam going through the chicane in second. There's Matt Psycho 3rd. Stevie Styler 4th. Psycho Pace 5th. 6th for there. All 6th and 7th really close together now. Jim on Weiss looking like he is under pressure from Joker's. Joker's heading on down in his direction, getting in the toe on the Mulsanne straight. He's got his floor firmly down to the floor. His foot firmly down on the floor, hitting the rev limiter in 7th, getting on those brakes, only just making it for the chicane. Whoo-wee! These cars are fun to drive. Skyjacker still leading from Jam Huntington by a second. Jam in the toe there, trying to catch up the Porsche, Toyota v Porsche there with Matt Psycho following. I think, isn't Stevie Styler in a Porsche as well? Yes. So we have Porsche, Toyota, Porsche, Toyota, Audi. And I thought the Audi was going to be strong here. I thought the long straights was really going to play into the Audi's strengths. So far it looks like he's catching up the Toyota of Psycho Pace. He's looking for a way past. This is the thing, it's overtaking. There's such heavy braking areas. You don't really want to chuck it up now. Oh, Jim Wise braking himself, but so's Jokers and so's Noxie. They've all followed each other off. Oh my. So there we see Skyjacker leading the way, 1.5 seconds from Jam now. Jam nearly 2 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. I think we're seeing now people settling into a pattern, looking after tyres, looking after fuel. There we can see Stevie Styler, some 1.5 seconds behind Psycho Pace, getting a little bit of breathing space from behind him as we saw them guys all following each other off. Looks like Jokers come out top with Noxie in 7th, Jim Wise just recovering. Let's see if he can catch those boys up. He's not too far behind. If he gets his head down, cracks on, does some great lap times, I'm sure you'll be seeing the back of Jokers and Noxie in a few laps. There we see Skyjacker making his way around the first lap as leader. There you go, wonderful stuff. Jam only 2 seconds behind him at this point, and Matt Psycho slowly eking towards these guys. You couldn't call a winner at the moment, could you? You really couldn't. Matt Psycho, on form alone from this season, should say that he has got a strong chance of winning this race. But Skyjacker, we've seen he's fast. We see he's prone to the odd slight mistake. I think this is a track. He was with us, I think, for the 2.5-hour race, so I think it's a track he knows, he's comfortable with. I think he's got used to this car a lot more now, so I have every faith he's going to be able to stay exactly where he is. And Jam, we've seen him knocking on the door a few times this season with the potential of a win. So yeah, the last round of the season, and it is anyone's. Stevie Styler falling a little bit further back from these guys now, about 4 seconds, but he's 6 seconds ahead of Psycho Pace, who we think he likes to play the long game. We've seen in his tactics, he likes to do less pit stops than the guys around him. I say that, he's going fastest at the moment, but on a whole, I'd say Psycho Pace, he likes to do a lot less pit stops, so he saves tyres, saves his fuel, has himself a nice good run, and Joker's catching him up there, only 1.3 seconds. We saw Joker's having quite an off, so maybe Psycho Pace has had a bit of an off because he's dropped back from Stevie Styler, but he's going fastest at the moment. Got no hybrid in that car as Psycho Pace. I don't know if the old Toyota struggles to build it back up. We see Stevie Styler, loads of boost, Bruce. Skyjacker some 3 seconds ahead of Jam now. He's really got the grit between his teeth and he's not messing about. Oh, I didn't see what Racer Brown's message was before he deleted it, and Pat says, I think it could be good for Porsche this race. Skyjacker and Matt Psycho looking like they are in a good place right now. Definitely Skyjacker going fastest of all, but everyone gets the purple on a second lap, won't they? Ooh, Matt Psycho really closing in on the Toyota now. I think Matt Psycho's race, he's released the hammer time. Starting to put the times in now. He doesn't want Skyjacker to get too far ahead, I imagine. He's probably running in a bracket, trying to save tyres, trying to save fuel, but let's also be mindful that you can't let the leaders get too far ahead. But Jam in that Toyota, we've seen so far this season, he's not an easy bloke to get past. So Matt Psycho might be stuck there for a little while just yet, giving Skyjacker a nice open road ahead of him to pull into. There we go, going through the chicanes. Starting our third lap. There we go, beautiful stuff. We're what, 7 minutes into this race now? Starting to see the pattern forming. Skyjacker leading by 4 seconds. He did a 24.1 on his last lap. He was the fastest on track. His tyres, you can see the red. You can see the red on his racing softs. He's got just over half a tank of fuel, so it will be like lap 5 they'll be coming in at this point. But it doesn't look like he's fuel saving. It looks like he's full burn. He's gonna rabbit early on. Jam, oh yeah, Jam's got a lot more fuel. Jam's fuel saving. Jam's playing the longer game here, so you might not see him race Matt too hard. You might let Matt go. So I think he is preserving fuel. There you go, Matt pulling out of the tow now to take second position from Jam. Ooh, Jam out wide there, cutting the chicane a little bit. Might find himself getting a penalty for that. This game loves to sling them out. Yeah, a 4-second penalty. No, looks like he's got off of that. So what? Matt Psycho up into second place. But Jam does look like he's probably going to try and cling in his toe. Does that keep getting turned up? Thank you. Sorry, they're watching Arthur Christmas in the background, which I said is not allowed. You can't watch Christmas. You get loud bits, I know, it's like Marvel films, when they're talking it's quiet. So there we see Jam is all over the back of Matt Psycho. I was saying Jam was just a fuel saving. Oh no, he's dropped back a little bit, and Stevie Styler, he's starting to catch him up, 1.5 seconds behind. Mika Wivery says, how are the Audis for boost charge storing? I'm not sure, there's only one in it, and he had a big off at the beginning. There, he's just seen his boost disappear as he's come out of the corner, but he's caught Noxie up. I said if he kept his head down, but Noxie has Psycho Pace. Has he pitted? What happened to Psycho Pace? I'll give a replay, but I mean, it's a long race. I can't see us finding out, no? Down to 6th, but we did see Joker's catching him up, so maybe he's just fuel saving. And Joker's just overtook him. I think Joker's just got him on track. Either that Toyota is really down on pace, or he's doing some major fuel saving. We'll have to wait and see, but he's losing a lot of time. It's a strange tactic. There we see Skyjacker. We don't think it's fuel saving whatsoever. We think he's just rabbiting, trying to get as much distance ahead of him as Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's doing a similar strategy, running out of fuel the same amount. It might be the Porsches, because Jam not that far behind him, and his Toyota, he's got a little bit more fuel, I think. Yeah, just a wee bit, just a small smidgen more, but sometimes that makes all the difference in the pit stop. You don't have to put as much fuel in the car if he pits at the same time. Stevie Styler looks like he's paying a penalty there. In the distance, he's only 3.5 seconds off of that fight, 11 seconds ahead of Joker's Psycho. Pace really dropping off there. I don't know, he was there with the leaders. He's done a 3:26, 3:32. I don't know if he's making mistakes or if he's fuel saving. I don't think he fuel save like 4 seconds. I think he must have had an issue of some kind. Noxie did a 3:26.7 on his last lap, but he has got a Jim 1 Wise closing in. Jim 1 Wise, the Audi, it's not too bad. It does get rid of its hybrid pretty quick, its boost. There you go. Doesn't build it up so good. Noxie, he's already got full. So yeah, I think the Porsche and Toyota are better with the hybrid than the Jim 1 Wise is. They go wide there, you get a penalty, I tell you. It's not scared to dish out a penalty for going wide there, no? Yeah, there you go, 2 seconds, that's painful. Skyjacker then, still leading this race, nearly by 6 seconds. Matt Psycho, they're going down the Mulsanne straight. Matt Psycho only 1.5 seconds ahead of a Jam. Is Jam there? He's got his full foot down full. He's not looking like he's lifting or anything in the toe. Stevie Styler, not a terrible amount of behind, but his fuel and his tyres do look a lot rougher than the guys ahead of him. I do think he uses a controller, which obviously already puts you at a disadvantage with tyre wear and such what. I mean, difficult to control. These cars are really difficult to control with a wheel. Oh no, Skyjacker having a small spin, and Matt Psycho coming around. Oh no, Jam also coming around. The lead has changed. Matt Psycho now leading this race. With Skyjacker still in second. He's maintained it from Jam. Oh no. We knew he was pushing. We knew he wanted to make some space on the guys ahead behind him so he could get a decent pit stop in. And unfortunately, I think that pushing, he was on the raggedy edge. He's going for it with Jam though. He does not want Jam ahead of him. He's trying his hardest. Stevie Styler just behind, pulling a bit of time in, 2 seconds. He's going faster again. It's Stevie Styler. Joker still ahead of Psycho Pace or Sheep. Racer Brown also, my same feelings, going no, that was so gutting. But he hasn't lost everything. He's still in the top 3, and he's now getting to use the toe of Jam to maybe cool his tyres a bit. Oh, he's used a lot more fuel than Jam though, and so has Matt Psycho. I think in the next lap we will see some people coming in. Will Matt Psycho take this opportunity, as he saw Skyjacker having a few dilemmas? Will he come in? No, he's gone past the pits. Will Skyjacker take this one? Yes, Skyjacker trying to shake this bad lap off, put some new rubber on, try and turn it into a strategy than a problem. So Matt Psycho carries on his way. Stevie Styler also, we saw his tyres were looking quite mean and he's quite low on fuel. Also going in, Psycho Pace then, playing that long game. He's back ahead of Jokers because Jokers is also going into the pits. And Noxie going around, his fuel looks fine, his tyres do look a bit worn. And there we see Jim One Wise. His tyres are looking quite done, his fuel is low. So there we go, and the boys coming out, where are they coming out? They're still in the pits, so behind the rest of the field, Stevie Styler, no, Skyjacker, sorry, is out in 4th spot. Jam came back out. No, he didn't pit, sorry, it was just Skyjacker. So Psycho Pace has moved up into 3rd spot. Skyjacker now out into 4th. With Noxie up into 5th, Stevie Styler coming out of the pits in 6th, ahead of Jim One Wise, and Joker's coming out of the pits some 15 seconds behind Jim One Wise, but don't forget, everyone else has to pit also. Jim One Wise will have to pit, I think, pretty soon, just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. Noxie, just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. Psycho Pace, oh, he's really saved his fuel well, but not enough to interrupt the guys ahead, although they have not pitted. How far behind is he? 16 seconds? One to keep an eye on, Psycho Pace. He might be on a very, very interesting strategy indeed. Matt Psycho, some 2.5 seconds, sorry, ahead of the Jam. Jam did his best lap on his last lap, a 35.7. Oh no, Psycho Pace is gone. I'm just telling you, he's one to watch out for, and he's absolutely disappeared. I don't know, no warning. I don't know if he crashed or something. I don't think he was nowhere near anyone. Oh, that was just looking good for him as well. Gutted. So Skyjacker back up into 3rd spot then. He's not really lost anything from his pit stop. That's not bad. A bit of time, 23 seconds on Jam. He's just got to get his head down now. Put some good lap times in. He might be able to jump a couple of these, but he is on a different strategy to them now. So Noxie just ahead of Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler wanting to get past Noxie on those softer tyres, on the newer tyres, sorry. All super grippy, warmed up, ready to race. He's got a Skyjacker to catch up. Jim One Wise, he's only 1.8 seconds behind Stevie Styler, but oh, he has got a pit. Definitely got a pit, with Joker some 16 seconds behind him. I don't know, Jokers might move ahead of Jim One Wise after the pits, but it's Matt Psycho, he's on the red, and no, Jam is not. Jam is really doing well at saving this fuel. I think Jam's got another lap in him, but here we think Matt Psycho is definitely going to have to come into the pits, get that Porsche replenished, some new tyres. Oh, a power out for Psycho Pace. Man, and I was just saying, you were one to watch in this race. You had so much fuel left and you'd not pitted yet. I honestly thought you were going to do something really interesting in that race. Sorry, man. That is South Africa. Hey, everywhere has them. Gutted, I'm so sorry, Psycho Pace. You were looking good in that race. So Matt Psycho has come in, and like I said, Jam staying out. So Jam got another lap, maybe 2 in that car. Interesting strategies. So Skyjacker paying a penalty. Stevie Styler 4.5 seconds, but Matt Psycho's still not there. You go, Matt Psycho now appearing from the end of the pit lane. Skyjacker, it was close. He had to pay that penalty, and look, it was only less than a second in it with the undercut for Skyjacker. Oh, rubbish! If he hadn't had to pay that penalty, he would have been ahead by sure. But Matt Psycho really topped up with fuel. Skyjacker not quite. They're on different strategies, but look at the racing between the two of them. So, yes, Psycho Pace says, yes, I was going 6 or 7 lap stints. Psycho Pace says it happens. Meek says that's a bit poo. Psycho Pace says let's root for the other Psycho. Yeah. Insurance Nut says commentator's curse. Tough luck, Psycho. Psycho says it happens. Life happens, power outage happens. Oh, there we can see Skyjacker making the move on Matt Psycho. They're too wide into the chicane. No, Skyjacker just slightly ahead of Psycho. I think Psycho would be the favourite for this race, but Jam making that fuel. Those Toyotas. Yeah, I bet you was enjoying that. Everyone pitting around you. I bet you were thinking, hello. You would have been leading, I think. Well, no, because Jam hasn't pitted. But yeah, you would have been second before your pit stop. You wouldn't have pitted, yeah, would you? You've been, yeah, around this time. So, Jam, playing the long game. But we think, yeah, he'll be pitting at the end of this lap. His fuel is just going into the red. He's got good pace on old tyres. 325 on lap 4, 326 on his last lap. Only 4/10 slower than his fastest. Skyjacker is pushing. 324, that was an outlap though, not 324, and Matt Psycho, he's still on his outlap. Matt Psycho's put a lot more fuel in than Skyjacker, pitted a lap later, so their strategies have altered slightly. Stevie Styler pitted, same lap as Skyjacker, and he's only 2 seconds behind that battle. So we can't discount Stevie Styler at this point. He's had a few podiums this season. Joker's having a fine race there. He's been in, pitted, he's out into 5th. 21 seconds behind Stevie Styler, 4 seconds ahead of Noxie, also pitted. And Jim Onwise is just pitted. He's on his outlap now. But only 4.2 seconds behind Noxie. Still a battle between these guys. Not 8 seconds. Covers them. Jokers to Jim Onwise. One small mistake and it's all over. Leading this race then, Jam we see going into the pits. So Skyjacker, wow, after a spin, maybe leading this race again. He's quite a way behind though, isn't he? He's got quite a way to go. What's Jam going to do? Oh, yes, I heard he was going to carry a poppy for Remembrance Sunday today. And that looks very nice. Very good, Jam. It's Jam then. Fueling up. Skyjacker is in the chicanes. Coming through. He's got 1.3 seconds on Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho saving that fuel maybe. He's got to go and pay a small penalty, but so has Skyjacker, and Matt Psycho taking... cheeky. Matt Psycho paying the penalty sooner than Skyjacker. So when Skyjacker paid his penalty, Matt Psycho whipped by. Jam come out in 3rd, but Stevie Stylo, look at that little crafty Stevie. Nipped up the inside of him. So Jam, playing the long game, has put him down into 4th place. But he's just got to chill. He's got to relax. These guys have got to pit a lot sooner than he has. Don't get dragged into racing with them, Jam. Just race your race. Stick to your plan. Don't get sucked into their race. They're on a different strategy, man. I know it's hard. You see cars coming past, going faster, and you just, oh, I want to race them, I want to race them, I want to race them. But sometimes it's best just to stick to your plan. There we see Matt Psycho, a man who sticks to his plan. And he is now 1.2 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker, though, can't be miscounted. He's had a spin in this race and he's made up for it. He's the time he lost from it. And he's back there again. Stevie Styler with the early pit stop, jumping Jam Huntington. Jam Huntington, he's on an outlap now. Some 23 seconds ahead of Jokers, but Jokers now, we saw he was 4 seconds ahead of Noxie, but only 2 seconds. Ooh, Jim One Wise looks like he's had an issue on his outlap at 32. He's lost a lot of time to Noxie ahead of him. Gutted. There's Psychopace in the chat. Yeah, I think my longer stints would have kept me in. Yeah, I think it was, man. I said one to watch. So Matt Psycho only 3/10 ahead of Skyjack. I think those Porsches struggling with fuel. So I think your Toyota Psychopace would have been in good stand in this race. Oh well, there'll be another season. Stevie Styler in 3rd ahead of Jam, only by 10th though. Matt Psycho only just ahead of Skyjacker. Shall we have a little bit of onboard goodness and an F12? We don't get enough of those. Sitting in the toe of the leader here for Le Mans on the HPEC final round. We've raced 9 different races before this, and here we are with the final. We believe Matt Psycho, or we know Matt Psycho is the champion, but there is a tight battle within the midfield with people just points away from each other. Psycho Pace was one of them, and so was Liam Anfield. So disappointing for them. They could have moved themselves up into about a 3rd spot in the championship, I think, 3rd or 4th. Maybe not. I think Jam and Stevie Styler have got that. Stevie Styler at the moment with the drop scores getting 3rd. So Jam will want a really good finish here, and he's only behind. Oh gosh, what's that? He's already behind Stevie Styler. That doesn't help him in his championship. Skyjacker though, that helps him. I think he was down with Liam Anfield and Psycho Pace, so this helps him with the points. Jam, Jokers, he was in that little battle as well. It's going to help him. He's only 1.2 seconds ahead of Noxie though. I'm so happy I've worked out you can get in cockpit with the controller if you can't do it with the keyboard. So now we get loads of in-cockpit views whilst we catch people up. So sat on board with Noxie. We pitted on lap 5. This is our first flying lap, and looks like Jokers has had a bit of a wide one. So Noxie moving up into 5th spot. Hey, all that hard work pays off in the end. Great stuff, Noxie. Fantastic. Gets his fastest lap as well with a 36.039. Great stuff. Poor Jokers though. Feel for him. It's a tricky car to drive around here. Bleedy out. We're 25 minutes through this race already. Look how quick that goes. So Matt Psycho, he's pulled out 3 seconds. Oh no. Skyjacker's dropped down. I don't know why. I'll try and see. He's in 3rd. He's already in 3rd there. I don't know. I don't know what may have happened. Sorry guys. I do try and keep up with the action as it happens. But sometimes I miss things. So Matt Psycho leading the race ahead of Stevie Styler, with Skyjacker down into 3rd and Jam on, I think, a stronger strategy than the guys ahead of him. He's not that far behind them. So it's a worry for these 3 leading the way, because they've got to pit a lot earlier than Jam. Jam is sitting pretty, if you ask me. Noxie up into a 5th spot. We saw him just taking Jokers. Jokers making a small mistake and costing him, look, 8 seconds. That's what an off costs you here. And Jim One Wise now catching Jokers up, only 5 seconds in it. Come on, Jim, head down, crack on. Jokers, you just got to keep it steady, Betty. Steady Eddie, keep it going. Noxie doing a fine job there. So in the lead, Matt Psycho, 2.6 seconds on Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler coming through the pack as a surprise runner here, right near the, well, midpoint of the race. Skyjacker only just ahead of Jam. Jam, it's got loads more fuel on him. Oh my god, Jam can keep on going, where he's, I think Skyjacker will be pitting pretty soon. It might be the tyres that have done it for Skyjacker. They're a bit more worn than Stevie Styler's. Matt Psycho's will be a lot newer. Oh, he's lost that back end on the curb. Oh no, Skyjacker, his race is going from worse to worse. And there we see Jam moving up into a 3rd spot. Oh, Skyjacker trying to recover. It's hard in these cars, those wheels spin up. You've really got to just creep onto the track. that doesn't help. Where is Noxie? Noxie's quite a way back from him though. Catching him up quick though. We haven't seen the time change. It still says 27 seconds as Skyjacker managed to keep going, but then we saw, oh, Noxie making the same mistake. So what can Jokers do? There must be some oil down there because Joker's struggling. Joker's struggling to get through that corner. I think there's been some oil spillage. Maybe when Psycho Base, his car defunct, the power outage, spissed oil all over the road. There we go. Jim Wise getting through that corner, no problem. In the lead then, Matt Psycho, 2 seconds leading from Stevie Styler. We're assuming the next lap or so, Stevie Styler will have to come in. I think Skyjacker will probably come in at the end of this lap. And it looks like them tyres just a little bit too much for him at the moment. There he goes, coming in. So Jam, still loads of fuel. He's some 4.6 seconds behind the guys in front of him. 6 seconds behind, 7.5 seconds behind Matt Psycho. Still well within a pit stop though. We're getting to the halfway point of this race. Skyjacker, we saw it didn't affect him too badly. The spin he had before his last pit stop, he still got him back up there. So Noxie going ahead of Skyjacker. Looks like he's struggling again through the chicanes. Jim on Wise has got ahead. Oh, Joker's going into the pits. And Jim on Wise moving ahead. Still half a tank of fuel on that, as is with Noxie's car. They're all on different strategies at this point. Matt Psycho's still got quite a bit of fuel, whereas we think Stevie Styler will have to pit the next lap or two. Jam though. Jam, he's got loads of fuel. His tyres are quite new. He's playing the long game, I think. What do you think he can get away with just doing one more pit stop this race? When did he pit? On lap 6. And Pat said earlier he thinks it's going to be what, 18 laps? So lap 6, 12, that will work. He could do it. He could do it in a 2-stopper. With these other guys, it looks like they're going to be 3, maybe 4 stopping for Skyjacker. He's gone with the soft tyres. He's 3.3 seconds behind Noxie. Noxie does have to pit. Not quite yet though. And Jim on Wise will have to pit soon. So Jam, he's got a few laps in him. Yeah, I think he's going to try and go to lap 12, lap 13, and then till the end. Matt Psycho, we think, is going to have to pit. I don't know, his fuel's not too bad. Stevie Styler definitely going to be pitting at the end of this lap. He's done his fastest lap of a 3:23.692, which is, oh my lord, only 4/10 off of Skyjacker's fastest lap. So even on the handset, he is very fast on the pad. He's awesomely fast. A sip of drink. Yummy yum. Yum yum. There we see Matt Psycho leading the way, 2.7 seconds. This race is totally different from what it started off as. We had Skyjacker, Matt Psycho and Jam. Now we've got Matt Psycho, Stevie Styler and Jam. But I don't think we can count out Skyjacker. I think he's just asking his tyres to go 1 lap too long each lap, it seems. So what is Matt Psycho going to do? Is he going to cover off Skyjacker's pit, or is he going to stay out? And I think Stevie Styler will have to pit. It won't be his choice. There he goes. He's coming in now. So Jam will take over that second spot. Still half a tank of fuel on board. He's doing absolutely fine. Matt Psycho, a quarter of a tank. Still a couple of laps left in Matt Psycho's car. I imagine he may have got whiff that Jam is on a different strategy. Noticing Jam not going in till quite late in the race. And trying to stay out. When did Matt Psycho pit? He pitted on lap 5 and Jam was lap 6. So it's not majorly different, There we see Stevie Styler having to top quite up a lot, but I think he'll be out ahead of Noxie. He should be. He had a 40-odd second lead on Noxie. Noxie still hasn't got to come in yet, but those tyres are looking quite rough. There you go. Stevie Styler is out in 3rd, comfortably ahead. Oh, Skyjacker did lose a lot of time there, but Skyjacker has caught Noxie up. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. At least he gets to race someone today, because he was just sitting out the front on his own for a while. So the one good thing about coming through the pack is you get to see other cars. You've got to try and find the goods. But there we see, Skyjacker looking for a way past that Toyota of Noxie. Noxie in fourth. He's still got a couple of laps before he pits. That Psycho now. He's burning through his last quarter of a tank of fuel. And Jam's still half a tank there. I think he can still go. Good couple of laps. Stevie Styler pitted. He's on his out lap. He's some 18 seconds behind Jam. Some 30 seconds behind Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho secretly pulling it out. There we can see Noxie and Skyjacker side by side. Skyjacker making the move into the chicane. There you go. Thank you very much. And adios. Skyjacker on a mission to try and repair his day. 2 unfortunate spins on very old rubber. Jim on Wise ahead of Jokus. Jokus looks like he just pitted on lap 8. He's just on his first lap after his out lap. So Jim on Wise, he'll be pitting at the end of this lap also. He's only 6 seconds behind Noxie. Noxie will be wanting to pit soon. His tyres, if it's not for fuel, it'll be for tyres. And there we see Skyjacker 20 seconds behind Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler has pitted. He's 18 seconds behind Jam. Jam, we think, is going to go quite long in this race. He's 12 seconds behind Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho will be pitting end of this lap. So that will be interesting to see what sort of time Stevie Styler is pulling out on his out lap. That's going to make all the difference here. That is going to be crucial. Absolutely crucial when it comes to Matt Psycho exiting the pit lane. Here he comes around the Porsche or Corvette. Porsche curves, Corvette curves. Is he going to pop into the pits? He should do with that fuel. There he goes. So that means Jam will be taking the lead of this race for the first time. And we've got 25 minutes left. This race is unbelievable. I wouldn't say it's action-packed, but the time is flying by. Intriguing how these strategies are going to turn out. Jam playing the long game. Matt Psycho's just 1 lap under him. So where will that put him on the final lap? Stevie Styler going for short, sharp stints. And he's just coming across the line now. Is Matt Psycho going to get out? Matt Psycho topping up. Topping the fuel up. There is Stevie Styler on the start straight. There we go. Matt Psycho coming out. He has beat Stevie Styler back onto the track, but only by a few seconds. 3 seconds he is ahead of Stevie Styler. That's not much. I'm telling you, Matt Psycho's used to playing with bigger margins than that with his strategies. This is a type 1. And with Jam 14 seconds up the road, we've still at least 2-3 laps. Noxie's in the pits and Jim on Wise, putting Skyjacker back into a 4th position, some 24 seconds off of Stevie Styler. And Jokus has gone, he's coming through, he's going across the finish line. Does he jump Jokus? I mean, does he jump Noxie and Jim on Wise? They're both topping up. It looks like it. Jokus back up into 5th spot ahead of Noxie. Noxie just coming out now. Is that going to be his final run? He's topped up, put new tyres on. If Jokus has to stop, which he may have to with only half a tank of fuel, he might. It's touch and go on that fuel tank. So Noxie topped up, ready to go, and so is Jim on Wise. Them two running till the end, 6 seconds apart, only 4 seconds behind Jokus, who we think may have to pit again. We think Skyjacker may have to go in for a splash or dash before the end of this race. Jam has still got half a tank of, a quarter of a tank of fuel there. He's still got a lap in that car. Matt Psycho some 13 seconds behind, but he will be absolutely chucking that car around the fastest he possibly can to make sure he gets past that pit lane before Jam goes out of the pits. Stevie Styler some 3 seconds behind Matt Psycho. It's not all done and dusted between these two, I think. Before the end of this race, I think Stevie Styler has got less fuel in, so interesting. Has Matt Psycho tried to turn this into just a 2-stop strategy, knowing that's what Jam is on? Jam, oof, I hate it when I come to them and they're going slow. He's just going through Arnage, sorry. Is it Arnage or Indianapolis? One of the two. I think it's Arnage. The fast one's Indianapolis, isn't it? The slow one's Arnage. And then he goes up towards the push curves. Leading this race by 12.5 seconds. So Matt Psycho pulling a lot of time out of him there on his out lap. He is flying. He's 3 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler. They're 24 seconds ahead of Skyjacker, missing out on the podium just by a hair's gnat's whisker. Gnat hair. Joker's in 5th, but we think he may have to pit before the end of the lap, where Noxie and Jim on Wise both sitting pretty. Only 4 seconds apart between the two of them. Joker's, and he knows it, he's pulling out time. 6 seconds, he was 4 seconds ahead of him. He did his fastest lap on his last lap at 3:26.00. He is slinging that Porsche proper around, but back with the leader Jam. His fuel still looking quite good. I'm really surprised with that Toyota's fuel tank, how much he's making it last. Because, I mean, it should be the end of this lap he wants to come in, but I thought it'd be lower than that. Matt Psycho, he's 11.2 seconds. He really is flying. He really is pushing. He done his fastest lap. His out lap last time was a 3:22.8, and this time it was a 3:21.5. He's not fuel saving this stint. He is going for it. He's got a purple. So far, Stevie Styler has got our fastest lap, which he got on the last lap, at 3:23.013. They've all got that sense. They know these two stoppers, they've got to start shifting. They've got to start moving, because Jam, he's not going to pit again. He won't have to pit again after this, I don't think. He's got one more pit stop to make. He's 10 seconds leading. Matt Psycho cutting that time down all the time. This is going to be so tight at the end. It's going to be a struggle to call it. Skyjacker losing 2 seconds on the guys ahead of him. But I think, you know, maybe he's starting to ease up, see if he can make this car last till the end of the race without having to do a pit. I'm not sure. So, Jam, we're just coming down to Mulsanne. Heavy on the brake. Shall we go on car? We've been on car for a while. Except for 12 it. Leading this race. What to do? Matt Psycho is flying behind us. He's taking nearly 2 seconds a lap out of our time. We've got to stay calm. We're playing the long game. We're only one more stop in, where Matt and Stevie have to have to stop another time over us. So we've all got one stop to make, shall I say, and we've got track position. But the guys behind us are going incredibly fast. Our fuel tank's just gone into red, so we will be pitting at the end of this lap. It's going to be so tight at the end of this race, especially with Matt Psycho and Stevie Styler having to make another pit stop, we are assuming. Although Matt Psycho carrying a lot of fuel there, still got 19 minutes left of this race. He's going faster. He wants that fastest lap from Stevie Styler. Jam is now 9 seconds. We saw he was about 14 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho when Matt Psycho came out of the pits, but Matt Psycho driving like a man possessed, like a champion, like the HPEC Season 2 champion that he is. And he wants to go out with a big bang, with fireworks. He wants to go out on top of the podium. But Jam, he wants that win. He's been knocking on the door of it all season. Stevie Styler also very close. Fast this season, scored good points, always on the podium, if not on the podium, 4th. So Jam has gone in now. Matt Psycho and Stevie Styler will easily get past him. Of course they will. But they've got to get some distance on him, because they're going to have to come in and pit again. I honestly believe they will. they will definitely have to stop with 18 minutes left of this race. Matt Psycho's got half a tank of fuel. Stevie Styler just under half a tank of fuel. Jam is still filling up with Skyjacker. Is a good chunk of time behind it with Skyjacker coming in. Skyjacker also coming in before his tyres wear out and he has an issue. Joker some 30 seconds behind Skyjacker. He needs to come in as well. I said Noxie and Jim on Wise probably okay. Noxie only two seconds behind Jokers, so he's pulled that 6 seconds in. And Jokers, he's got really angry tyres and barely any fuel. Take it in, Jokers. Don't. Yes, good call. Fresher tyres later in the race. These guys, Jim on Wise and Noxie, going to be struggling on that rubber. By the end of the race, Joker's rubber will be a lot fresher. There we see Skyjacker out of the pits and didn't lose a position, 4th still. Jam 12 seconds behind Stevie Styler and Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho 6.5 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler. We believe they're both going to have to pit again. Psycho Pace says Audis are quick, but drink the juice. Jam is looking very good. I reckon so. I hope so. It'd be great to see Jam win a race this season. Or it'd be good to see Stevie win as well. Or Matt. Either of them three, they're all good chaps. But Matt's won a couple. And he's already champion. So, rooting for one of these guys behind him, I'm afraid. But not openly. I'm not going to say, oh, Matt's got through that corner without crashing. Damn. God, he's got through that corner as well. Why is he so good? Why doesn't he make mistakes? Why doesn't he have an off once in a while? No, not at all. He's having a great drive. His intentions are clear. He knows he's got to pit again, although I'm starting to worry about that. He's got half a tank and there's 16 minutes left of this race. I'm not sure if he can eke that out. No, Stevie Styler, but Stevie Styler pitted a lap before, so maybe, yeah, these two definitely got to pit. Jam, I think he can go to the end. I think he's done 6 laps. Pat guessed that they'd be doing 18 laps here, so that is 3 stints of 6, isn't it? 6, 12, 18. So he should be able to go till the end. Come on, Jam. Matt Psycho though, 6.5 seconds, got the fastest lap on the last lap, taken from Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler lost a few seconds on him. He did a 3:25 on his last lap. He's now 18 seconds ahead of Jam. Oh, it's intense stuff. I know it's not like bumper to bumper racing, but it's hard to call between the top 3. Oh, I'm getting quite anxious about it. I'm all hot as well. I don't know why I'm hot. Must be the Christmas jumper I'm wearing. So Matt Psycho. Oh, you'd be tempted to come in and do the pit stop early just so you could know where you are. Trying to eke it out. Jam is pushing. He's pushing his hardest there. Skyjacker is in 4th. He's staying ahead of Noxie. Noxie doesn't have to pit again. Skyjacker just pitted. Topped up. Oh, no, dude. Sweet dreams. Jim on Wise. Just 7 seconds behind Noxie. That boost just isn't working for him, is it? You see, go everywhere else. They've all got green little batteries under their fuel tank. And poor Jim in that Audi just can't seem to top it up. And there's Jokus. We knew he'd have to make another pit stop, but I'm surprised he's that far behind him. Before he'd be closer. So Matt Psycho, 7.2 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler. He's down to a quarter of a tank of fuel. Stevie Styler just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. Matt Psycho's tyres are a lot better than Stevie Styler's, but I think Stevie Styler is down to having to use a pad, which is what wears his tyres, and more so. Jam then sitting 20 seconds behind these boys. He's got 3/4 of a tank of fuel left, 13 minutes of racing, 13.5 minutes of racing. Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. We think Stevie Styler will pit on this lap. That would go with his pit strategy. He pits a lap before Matt Psycho so far at each stint. Skyjacker pitted on the last lap, which usually means Stevie Styler pits just behind the Skyjacker, and then we'll have Matt Psycho coming in, and we'll know the order then. Exciting. So Noxie, 4.7 seconds. I think he's lost time to Jim. Jim was something like 7 seconds behind him earlier. So Jim on the comeback, trying to get that 5th spot from Noxie. And that Psycho's nearly 8 seconds lead on Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler will be popping into the pits, so you'll get that extra lap of fresh rubber before Matt Psycho pits. Can he do some super duper lap times to put some pressure on the Psycho? I just spilt Red Bull down me. It's disgusting. I'm like a child. 8 seconds. Oof. So we'll be looking at Stevie Styler. There we go. We can see Jam. He's got a green next to his name. He wants to be doing some nice fast laps. Pat says the last 4 laps should be okay for pit stops. If the last stop was lap 11 or later. Matt Psycho pitted on lap 10. Stevie Styler pitted on lap 9. Jam pitted on lap 12. So I think Jam's okay. But I believe here goes Matt now. Matt's gone in early to put less fuel in. So has Stevie Styler. So Jam, what can he do? Oh, he's quite a way back, isn't he? But I don't think them guys can go in, put more fuel in and get out ahead of him. It's going to be so tight. There's Matt Psycho. He's got his wheels on. The wheel floors, they're getting fuel in. There's Stevie Styler only just getting his tyres done. This down, they're getting the fuel in. No, this now, they're getting the fuel in. Jam coming around the last corner to take the lead. Matt Psycho, they're still putting the fuel in. Matt Jam going across. 3/4 of a tank of fuel with 10 minutes racing left to do. Matt Psycho's no out. He's out. He got enough fuel in. He got enough fuel in. He's just out ahead of Jam, but Stevie Styler down to 3rd. So Jam's strategy outdid Stevie Styler's, but Matt Psycho coming in for that early stop, having to put less fuel in. Just did it, just clinched it. 3.8 seconds ahead of Jam. Jam will be kicking himself now, seeing that bloody Psycho out ahead of him. Thought he had him covered off. Thought he had it all done, but Matt Psycho doing some absolutely amazing lap times in them 2 stints. He did a pit stop. He did a great outlap with a 3:21.5, then a 3:22.7 to take fastest lap, then a 3:22.2 when he was on his in lap, and then another pit stop. That's a very short stint to cover off Jam. I think he was nervous there. I think he thought Jam had him, so he came in for an earlier stop to cover over. Stevie Styler scratching his head, wondering, wait a minute. I was racing Matt Psycho. How's he got in and got out ahead of 2nd place? Stevie Skyjacker Psycho Jam there. He's just done his fastest lap on lap 14, a 23.015. He's some 30 seconds off of the top 3 and 14 seconds ahead of Jim One Wise. Jim One Wise, where did Noxie go? Noxie dropping down. Oh, Noxie been in the pits again. Popped into the pits. I wonder why. I thought he pitted early. He pitted on lap 10, so yeah, he needed a little splash and dash. Stayed ahead of Jokers though. But Jim On Wise, will he need to do a splash and dash before the end of this race with 9 minutes left to go? So Matt Psycho 4 seconds ahead of Jam. Jam 5.5 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler. There is still 8-9 minutes left of racing, and anything could happen in that time. Wow, what a race this turned out to be. I thought Jam had it. I thought Jam's 2-stopper was a slam dunk for sure, really was. But Matt Psycho, I think he just in that little middle section pulled out some unbelievable lap times. Was anyone else in the 22s even? See, Jam did a 24.4 on his last lap. But no, I don't think there's been anyone else managed to get a 22 down the field. Oh, no. 23.0 from Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler pushing like mad. Pushing like crazy there. He knows his tyres will be fresher than Jam's come the end of this race. and he just wants to get a little bit closer to the Jam, but Jam just doing enough. And it's between these two, Stevie Styler and Jam, for third in the championship. I'm not going to start working out who's scoring more or what, but I can give you a rough idea how far apart they are with drop scores. So Stevie Styler is third with 93 points, and Jam Huntington fourth on 87 points. So there's 5 points between them so far. Jam, I think he might need a fastest lap to get ahead of Stevie Styler in that position. I'm not sure. They're in the chat. Mika says, next week I switch my damn business phone off. Oh, she's been on the chatting again. Missed the whole damn race, she says. Wow, that's a long old business call. I hope you charge by the... No, because there is people who use the phone that charge by the minute. So that could be misconstrued. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm moving away from that subject. So Matt Psycho 6 seconds ahead of Jam, who is 5 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler. We've got 6.5 minutes just over to go. Jim One Wise has come into the pits. So Skyjacker also in the pits. Whoa. Interesting. Skyjacker going in the pits for another go around. Noxie, he pitted on the lap before, so he'll come round and take up a 4th spot from these guys. I'm not sure why Skyjacker's pitting. Strange. I thought Skyjacker had all that covered off. I must admit, maybe he didn't like the tyres, feeling a bit old, wants to get a fastest lap maybe. Maybe fancies fastest lap before the end, but he's dropped behind Jim One Wise and Noxie now in this race. Can't quite understand that move, but maybe he's trying something out. Matt Psycho 6.5 seconds ahead of Jam now. He just, look at that, did a 21.9 on his out lap, whereas Jam, he's done a 26.1 on his last lap. I think he's worried that fuel might not make it, so he's going a bit easier maybe leaned the engine out, turn the engine down a bit, I mean, to try and make sure it lasts. Stevie Styler is only 4 seconds behind though, and Stevie Styler will be pushing. He's got more fuel, so he can push. He's up on his own time, so Jam has really got to watch out. Playing the long game, it does leave you a little bit vulnerable come the end of the race with the guys on fresher rubber, maybe a little bit more fuel. Oh, we've only got 5 minutes left of this race. Where did that hour go? It's flown by. Mika Wivery says, oh, well, they'll get charged for an hour's worth of my time. Good, good. Sorry, I didn't mean to say you should charge by the minute. Those call girls that are £1.99, £1.99 a minute, that's probably really old, because I don't know how much they charge now. £1.99 a minute is probably cheap. Babe Station. Matt Psycho 7.2. Not that Mika Wivery's on Babe Station, I'm just saying that's them phone calls that you pay by the minute is what I'm talking about. When you get home from the pub, you're a bit peed up, you go up to the 900 channels on Sky to watch Babe Station, some girl in her underwear just saying, can you give me a phone call please? I'm waiting for your call, I want to tell you how hot you are, even though we're on the phone and I can't see you. There we see Matt Psycho 8 seconds ahead. I've missed my call in life. I should have been a Babe Station girl, shouldn't I? Oh, I'm here waiting for your call. Please call me. I'll make sounds for you. Oh, gravy. Give me some gravy. That's the shovel. You want a shovel? Hey, I'm digging holes all the time. You should see the commentary box. There's holes all over the place. Mika's given up. I'm a lost cause now. Oh, gravy. All over me tatas. Matt Psycho leading. This is the last one. I suppose it doesn't matter, does it, what I say? Oh my, Stevie Styler is on the move though. Let me get myself back into the concentration gap, because Stevie Styler is having one last push. 3 minutes remaining of this Le Mans race, and VRC Jam looking like he had second place all wrapped up, neat and tidy in a bow, ready for Christmas, is maybe thinking ahead of himself, because Stevie Styler is flying at the moment and he wants that second spot. The fight to the podium not over yet. So heading up to the lead, we can see that Matt Psycho is 10 seconds leading this race, bringing her home. He's got the fastest lap. Jam doing everything he can to keep that second spot, but he knows he's in trouble. Those tyres, they look a little bit more worn. He's only got a quarter of a tank of fuel. Ooh. If he goes on to a next lap, I imagine he'd want to finish this race on this lap, but it looks like he's going to have to go another lap. And Stevie Styler has fuel to burn. Wow, 8 tenths now. Poor Jam, he's a sitting duck, I think. I don't think there's really much else he can do. He's just got to sit there and wince. That Psycho, absolutely, where did he do that? That little stint on it between pit stops, just did some amazing lap times, pulled it right out of the bag. Jam 6 tenths ahead of Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler getting ever closer. We think he may have clinched third in the championship. So anyway, so just finishing ahead of Jam would just be rubbing salt into the wound. But he's right on the bumper of that Toyota, looking for a way past. There he goes up the inside. Wince, wince, wince. It looked like they had it coming together. Jam off into the dirt. Is Stevie lifting? No, doesn't look like Stevie. He does look like he's going slower. He does, yeah, he's slowing down. Oh dear. So Matt Psycho coming around, 40 seconds left of this race. He's there. There's nothing can take it away from him now. Stevie Styler waiting for Jam to come past. What a shame. They just came together on the track at the wrong time, it seems. Didn't quite see the angle very well. Both going into a fast corner side by side. Jam, Stevie having a small coming together. But now they've got another lap. Yes, 20 seconds left, so now they've got another lap for Stevie Styler to have another go. Pat says looks very close for second with 1 lap left. Well, it did anyway. No, they haven't given up yet. It looks like Stevie is coming back at Jam. And Noxie in a great 4th spot there, ahead of Jim One Wise, finishing in great place there. We saw that Skyjacker popped back into the pits. I don't know if he's trying something out, testing something, if he's trying to get a fastest lap. Did a 23.8 on his out lap. He's 2.6 seconds down, so I'm not sure what's happening or not in the Skyjacker camp. Pat says Porsche curves, not a good place to be trying to go too wide. No, I don't think it was. Matt Psycho bringing her home then. 1 last lap here. Jam still leading Stevie Styler, but Stevie Styler in the tow down Mulsanne Straight into L'Arc Chicane, heading down towards Le Florandier Chicane. Le Florandier. But Jam still, oh, we got some finishers. Noxie crossing the line 4th. Thank you very much for taking part, Noxie. You have had a great season. Jim One Wise, thank you. Fantastic 5th. Skyjacker, thank you for doing all the scores and taking part and doing all the briefs. Jokers bringing her home as well. I thank you. I do thank you, Jokers. You stick with it. You really do. You've struggled in that car all season, but you've been there at the final finish line. So a special thank you, Jokers. You've done amazing. Matt Psycho, we're watching. Bring her home. But Jam and Stevie carrying on the race. It's not over for them. This season's not finished yet. For some, it's all over and done with. But for Stevie and Jam, the fight for that 3rd place. Oh, looked like Jam had to do a bit of a lift because he got a little penalty and Stevie Styler drove through him. Ooh. It's like, well, ghosts, they don't like you walking through them, do they? But yeah, Jam just come through. I mean, Stevie Styler just come through Jam there in that corner. Unbelievable. He was lucky he was ghosted when he was ghosted. Matt Psycho, are we going to watch him coming around? But there we see Jam heading down towards Stevie Styler. It's not over between these two yet, but Jam struggling with a bit of time. Oh, he's struggling with fuel. That's why we keep seeing him ghosting. He's lifting. He's lifting, trying to bring that car home. Doesn't want to run out of fuel. Oh, it was tight, wasn't it, for Jam there in the end. You can see why he's ended up behind Stevie Styler. So watching Matt Psycho, thank you very much for making this such an entertaining season. The HPEC Season 2, your championship winner and race winner, Matt Psycho. Congratulations. Cheers, Matt. Awesome. Thank you. Fantastic. In second spot, Stevie Styler, going out in style on the top, second spot of the podium, breaking Lil Jam's heart. Looked like Jam had all of this covered, and you broke him, you meanie. Well done. Thank you for taking part. You're awesome. Stevie Styler, second spot. And there we see Jam limping over the line, no fuel. Awesome stuff. Great stuff. Thank you very much. There you go. So that was your HPEC final round. Matt Psycho 1, Stevie Styler 2nd, Jam 3rd. Take a boo, my son. There you go. Congratulations, Matt Psycho. Fastest lap and the win. He didn't get pole, did he, this season? It was Skyjacker who got pole. So he didn't do all 3. And we'll look at your race results there. Matt Psycho, your race winner. Congratulations. Stevie Styler, after a very impressive fight with Jam, but I think Jam running out of fuel in the end helped Stevie Styler, but it was tough. It was tough between the two of them. Got a great second place here at Le Mans. There you see Jam in the final podium position. Take a boo, my son. I imagine he's probably a little bit disappointed, but he shouldn't be. Great position here at Le Mans in the final race of the season. Noxie, a fantastic 4th spot, with Jim on Wise bringing her home in 5th. Skyjacker having an up and down race, a couple of spins earlier on, and then it looked like he took an extra pit stop at the end that put him behind Noxie and Jim on Wise. We're not sure what happened there, but Skyjacker in 6th, with Jokers finishing 7th. Unfortunately, Psycho Pace's power went out, so we lost Psycho Pace earlier in the race. And your fastest lap was by Matt Psycho. So that's it. That's your lot for HPEC. I'll clear up. I'll clear up in Discord when we're doing when we're going to be racing the Red Bulls. I thought it was next week, but I'll ask everyone in chat if they want to do it next week or week after, and when they all decide, I'll make some huge announcement. So you might not see me next Sunday. I'm not sure. You're probably not going to see me next Saturday, because I don't think there's anything to replace Max 5 at the moment. So I'll see you guys on Friday evening with the MTCC, which still has 2 rounds left. And obviously I'll be doing the Porsche Sprinter Trophy on the replays. I'll be doing the WRX Challenge on the replays. And we've still got the GTMC final to do, which I'll probably be doing tonight, which I say every night. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining in, those on the chat, those that have watched, those that have stuck with this season. It's been an absolute pleasure. I didn't know what 1 hour races would be like. It can be boring, endurance racing, I know. It's a different kind of racing, but here I am. I've got a message. I don't know. Don't know if it's anything to do with this. I know they sometimes listen to me who sent me a message, but it's probably nothing. It probably says, do you want to play No Man's Sky? Dude, you going in tonight? Oh, it's someone asking me if I'm working. Am I sod? Right. So yes, I got sidetracked. There you go. No, I'm not working. If you're listening, Carbon Dwarf, I'm not going in. Right then, thank you everyone for joining in. The last of the chats. Let's have a look. Pat says Porsche curve. Mika says leave it until the straight. Stevie. Mika Wivery says way to go, Matt. He's listening because he just put cool. Cheers. No, go and play No Man's Sky, Pete. You're all right. Not Pete, Carbon Dwarf, sorry. Mika Wivery says, leave it till the straights. Mika Wivery says, way to go, Matt. Pat says, called it at the start. Porsche 1-2, well done, Matt. Skyjacker says, cracking job thingy, top man. No, you are a top man for doing scores and doing all the briefs all season and coming up with the idea for HPEC. Pat says, been nice to watch this season. Might try and race in one of these one time. You should, Pat. It's great fun. He says, the man who never drives a GR1 car. Yeah, jump in. I think I did it that once in a Red Bull and didn't change my tyres to wet and spun on the straight. So, yeah. Who am I? But everyone, that's it. There's nothing more to say. Thank you. You've been watching the Virtual Racers Club. Please visit our website. Come to our Discord, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk. I'm going to rush off now to watch the Strictly Come Dancing results show. Come on. Who's the bloke I like? Bill Bailey. Go on, Bill Bailey. Win it. All right then. Thank you, everyone. Catch you later. One more chat. I'm up for practice with you if you want. All right, Pat. We'll work it out. I think I've got a few Saturdays and Sundays free, so I might be doing some practice. All right, everyone. I love you lots. I'll catch you later. Oh, yeah, I better tell you who I was, won't I? So I was your commentator and broadcaster, Salami. Catch you later. Oh, Matt says cheers thingy. Okay. Be good to everyone. Enjoy lockdown. Keep watching. See you soon. Bye.